This week on Expedition Texas, we're returning to Van, Texas to find a long-lost part of that city's infrastructure, the old water treatment plant. Then buried out in the woods, we look to find the ruins of the city's century-old sewer plant. That's this week on Expedition Texas.
Texas is full of lost history, from lost cemeteries to abandoned buildings, from the infamous to the obscure. Hitch a ride and travel across the Lone Star State, looking for hints of Texas' colorful past, our lost history. This is Expedition Texas, and we're gonna find it.
Van, Texas is positioned on the edge of Van Zandt County. The city was a bustling boom town thanks to the oil that flowed from the many wells there. All the people who came needed safe, clean drinking water and some way to dispose of all the waste. Like many other cities, Van built a reservoir to provide the city's drinking water. To clean the water, they needed what was at the time a state-of-the-art water treatment plant. Retired Public Works Director John Beal tells us the story.
The original water supply for the city of Van was a lake, the Van City Lake. It was built in 1949 by a private contractor. The water plant was put online in early 1950, was used up until probably the early 80s, 81 maybe. Probably pumped around 200,000 to 300,000 gallons a day into town, until they went on to the well systems. They started drilling water wells in 1979.
In 2016, the city of Van sold the lake to a private company. That water treatment plant has sat abandoned since the 80s. But today, we're going to find it. Hey, John, how's it going, man?
Bob, how you doing?
Doing fine. Well, it's been a while since John and I have been together. We did that Christmas episode a while back.
Yes, we did.
Since then, you've retired?
I have retired, yes.
How's retirement working out for you?
Great so far.
Good, good. Okay, so you were kind of over all the public works whenever you were here. You did a lot of maintenance on these things, and through the years, they brought on a lot of new infrastructure and things like that. I've always been curious, though, about, like, there are places in Van that I've known about I haven't actually seen, like the old water treatment plant.
Yes.
And there's an even older, more long-abandoned wastewater treatment
plant, yes.
And you say you can find those and take us to those.
I sure can, Bob.
Even though they've been offline, one of them's been offline since the 70s, right?
That's correct.
All right.
I'll take you to them.
Okay, so let's start off with the fresh water, the clean water coming in.
Okay.
The water treatment plant. We're going to follow you, sir.
Okay, let's go.
All right, let's go. Having grown up in Van, it was good to be back and see some of the sights again. During that time, I had only gone to the Van City Lake maybe a handful of times. I knew about the lake, but had no idea what waited on the other side. Oh, this is cool.
You said you wanted abandoned.
Looks like it.
Here it is. Come on in.
How long has it been since anybody's been out here, man?
It's been at least 1980, maybe 81.
Wow. Well, it's definitely a cool old building, and people used to work out here every day.
Every day, 24 hours a day, yes.
Now, I noticed this big staircase going up when we got here. What's up there?
That goes up to the old office.
Office? Cool. Let's check it out.
You ready to go?
Yeah. We're in Van, Texas, exploring a vital part of municipal infrastructure, the old abandoned water treatment plant near Van City Lake. We've just entered the overgrown compound to explore with our guide, former Van Public Works Director, John Beal. Kind of take us through the process. We saw the Van City Lake. Take us through the process of how the water came into here and what became of it.
Well, this is a lake over here.
Okay.
It came in through gravity flow and pump methods. This was the mixing chamber here where they added all the chemicals to make all the sediment and the sand and the good stuff settle out. And then it was pumped on through to the clarifier on the other side of the yard. There it was settled is where the settling started. The water came to the top, the clear water. It came through and it wound up over here in this tank, the final clarifier. From here, it was pumped into town.
Cool. So can we go in this building and see where everything started out and mixed up?
Sure can.
All right. Following you, man.
Let's go. Bob, this is the pump room. This is where all the action took place for the whole water treatment plant.
Man, there are all sorts of pipes and valves and things like that in here.
All sorts, all sizes.
All frozen in place. Nope, maybe not.
No.
Hope I didn't just...
Maybe you won't get wet if you open it up.
Yeah, maybe not. Now I noticed this big staircase going up when we got here. What's up there?
That goes up to the old office.
Office? Cool. Let's check it out.
You ready to go?
Yeah. The old office, huh?
This is it.
What was this?
This is all the electrical instrumentation, all the breakers and all the gauges. Used to sit over here on another panel.
Wow.
Controlled all your motors and your blowers and everything. Bob, this is where they used to keep some of the chemicals that they used in the plant.
More chemicals?
More chemicals, more chemicals.
So all this was kept in here, put into, I guess mixed into
Mixed into the water out there and those two tanks outside that door.
Okay.
And then it was pumped over here to the clarifier.
Clarifier, which I saw a door over here. We could possibly still get out there.
Maybe so.
But it looks like it's welded shut.
It is welded shut. We'll have to crawl
I
through.
have to go through this little opening here. A little motor and a pulley of some kind. What did that do?
It just mixed the chemicals when they added it to the water here.
And this big old thing must be the clarifier, huh?
This is the clarifier.
Man, how much water would fit in this thing?
This was probably about 150,000 gallons.
150,000 gallons.
This was your first point of treatment to let all the solids settle out of the water as it was pumped into the plant.
And so the solids would settle to the bottom. What's this on the bottom here that's looks like it has a motor attached?
That's a rake arm. That just keeps the solids from settling so hard that you can't get them out of the tank. It just keeps it stirred up and loose.
So that's moving.
Moving. It's moving in a circle all the time, constantly.
But not enough that all that stuff would rise back up.
Correct.
But moving enough that it would just keep a...
That's right. As the clear water rises and then the solids are settling towards the bottom, the clear water will come over the weir. That's called a weir. And it rolls over that into a trough, and then it will go out into the next tank.
Where are we heading now?
All right, Bob, let's come on over here to where we control the sludge.
Control the sludge.
Control the sludge.
Control the sludge. Is that what these valves are for?
That's what these valves are for, Bob. The sludge that comes from the clarifiers comes into the two digesters out there that you see.
Digesters.
The digesters. That's where the sludge will settle out to the bottom.
Okay.
It always stays full of water. These valves will control the flow. This is where it'll come in.
Okay.
And then it will just gravity flow out to the retention ponds. Bob, let's go downstairs.
It's kind of dark down here.
Yes, it is.
What is this?
This is the sludge pump station. Pumps and motor for moving the sludge out of the digesters over to the retention ponds. Got the access ports over here.
People actually went down in this thing.
You had to get down in there to clean them.
And there's a heck of an echo. in Van, Texas, exploring their abandoned water treatment plant. The plant was built adjacent to the old city lake, which for decades served the city's water needs. The city began switching to the use of wells to source water in the 70s. By the early 1980s, the old water treatment plant and the lake no longer served the city. The plant has sat abandoned since then. The lake was sold in 2016. This piece of Van's rich history is now slowly being reclaimed by nature. We followed the process of the water up through filtration. Retired Public Works Director John Beal takes us through the rest of the steps.
All right, Bob, let's go out here.
Somebody's couch. Where are we heading next?
All right, Bob, we're headed to the last stop on the tour.
Okay.
These are your storage tanks here. Once your water comes off of your clarifier over here, it's all the sediments taken out of it. It comes over here to these two storage tanks. From here, it's pumped into town.
Last step before it becomes somebody's drinking water.
That's it. Goes on about a 3-mile trip to town. Climb up there. There should be an access manway up there.
Gotta start with the other foot, I think. No, that's not gonna work either. It's sturdy, I'll use that. Yeah, access manway for a really skinny man, which I am not.
What's it look like, Bob?
Well, like it's been sitting here for a really long time. People actually went down in this thing.
You had to get down in there to clean them.
Was it emptied out when they did that?
Yes, yes. All the water was emptied out. What solids were left over from the previous treatment is what you had to get out. You basically just had to shovel it out with a 5-gallon bucket and dump it out the side.
Wow. There's still water, and there's a heck of an echo.
You go first, Bob.
I don't think this thing's been cleaned in a really long time, and I think it's not going to get cleaned today. So from these storage tanks, 3-mile trip to Van, and the water is then used for washing dishes and washing hands and drinking and all that, and then
it goes to the sewer plant.
Which is our next stop.
Our next stop.
Let's head on over. Apparently we have to kind of cut cross country on this thing and head out and go find the old sewer plant now. How long before we get there, John?
Bob, we're here.
Oh, wow. This is just off in the middle of nowhere.
It is.
So we had paved roads for a little while, and those kind of disappeared, and now we're out here in the middle of the woods, and all of a sudden there's concrete structures on either side of us. I guess we found the old sewer plant.
This is the old sewer plant, the original sewer plant for the city of Van.
So this thing ceased operation when?
Approximately 1972, 1973. What are you seeing?
Lots of different concrete shapes and stuff up here. I don't know what to call it.
This is just a weir setup is what they call this.
You're watching Expedition Texas.
We're in Van, Texas with the goal of exploring some of their abandoned water treatment facilities. We've visited Van on the show before. First, we celebrated Christmas with the people of Van last year. Our guide then was City Manager Charles West, joined by Public Works Director John Beal. While we were there, we explored some of Van's oil history. That's what put Van on the map. But a city on the map needs a way to take care of all those citizens, and that's why they once had a state-of-the-art water treatment plant and city lake. We've toured the ruins of that facility, but now we've traveled by ATV into the woods to find all that remains of Van's first sewer treatment plant. Oh, wow. This is just off in the middle of nowhere.
It is. Well, originally the sewer flow came in from the northwest, somewhere down that direction. It's long since gone. There used to be a lift station where all the flow would come into. Then the pumps would pick it up, pump it up here to the Imhoff tank. Right here, this structure.
Just a big concrete box, it looks like.
It is, basically. It's got some walls on the inside that called weirs, kind of separated the flow and the solids, and all the solids settled out in the bottom, and the flow went over the top, out the weir to the trickling filter. The sludge came over this direction to the two drying beds. This was a drying bed for the sludge. That used to be a little bar screen.
Bar screen.
A bar screen. Any solids that got away from the Imhoff tank over here were caught here as the flow went out to the creek before it got to the creek.
Ah. Hey man, it's like somebody's extension ladder out here.
I believe so.
Fairly recent.
Somebody's been doing some exploring.
Either that, or we're either gonna find a moonshine still in here,
It's possible.
or
Maybe a body. What are you seeing?
well, lots of different concrete shapes and stuff up here. I don't know what to call it. You would know what to call it.
This is just a weir setup is what they call this. Your flow would come in from the pipe here in the middle. Your solids and your water would go down the sides. The solids will settle out in the bottom. The water would go down the troughs and over to the trickling filter. The solids eventually would go out that other end to the drying beds.
What happened next, John?
Well, Bob, the water flow came over here to this structure called a trickling filter.
Okay, so you've told me this once. Kind of explain to me what would happen in here again, though.
Okay, like I say, this was filled with different size media material from big gravel rocks on down to fine sand.
Yeah.
Water would come in here at the center.
Yeah.
It would be dispersed all the way out to the far wall through a rotating arm. Just went around constantly, keeping the media wet. And then also, as it did that, it filtered the water. When it was filtered and clean enough, it went out to the creek through that pipe over there. Clean water returned to nature, yes.
I think there's some nature alive up in there.
There is a little bit.
Yeah. Let's go.
You've seen the whole process now, start to finish. What do you think?
Well, I think it's pretty cool. I think I would revise that, though. It's the whole process start to finish prior to the 70s and early 80s.
You're right.
You have a whole new process in place
We
now,
do have a new process in place,
which
yes.
probably does an even better job.
It does,
Which is
much
good
better.
for the people in Van, right?
Very good for the people of Van, yes.
Cool. Only one last thing to ask you. Can I get a ride back out of here?
I believe we can work that out.
Let's roll.
Let's
All
go.
right, man. Thanks, John. What may look like abandoned cement junk in the woods is truthfully part of the most important city infrastructure in the city of Van, Texas, of a time gone by. Van was once a boom town because of its oil, but is well on its way to booming again thanks to the good old East Texas hospitality. Next time you're in East Texas, stop by for a visit and tell them Expedition Texas sent you. There's lost history all over the Lone Star State, and on Expedition Texas, we're going to find it.